Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. The spotter said it was clear. I wasn't clear, and, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. And so, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but... All
right, folks, welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your #1 unrefined motorsports podcast. Ashley's already laughing. It's Brian with Rob and Ashley. What's got the giggles?
Well, we'll get to it later for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a combination of the heat and the discussion we were having about the video of the week. Y'all don't even know, man. I'm fucking...
Yeah, we're delirious. We're all delirious.
Brian picked out a doozy for us this week.
Certainly did. And a really cool one, too. So I'm looking forward to that. But we got a lot of shit to talk about before we get to to the mess at the end of the show.
Yeah. Anyways, there was some racing this weekend. The long-awaited debut of Iowa on the NASCAR Cup schedule happened on Sunday, along with a race on Saturday in the Xfinity Series. And I didn't get to watch much of the race Saturday, but it sounded like a mess. But what did you guys think? Because like I said, I didn't see much of it.
I didn't get to watch it Saturday, but I went back and watched it yesterday. Yeah, a lot of right front tire issues.
Yeah.
I don't even know who won. Sam Mayer?
Yeah, Sam Mayer. He won.
Yeah.
He did a Superman pose after winning, which seems lame as shit. Probably should stop doing that, kid.
Yeah, that's about my only note is how whack that was. So, would really rather never see that again.
Then he whined about how he's not in the discussion for a cup ride next year.
Wonder why.
I did watch the pre-race and had Austin Hill annoy me more, if that's a surprise to anyone.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Well, then the pre-race, Dave Burns, who I already don't like, referred to Austin Hill as a quiet country boy, which not
that's
further
not
from the
that's an incorrect assessment.
Yeah. So they had this nice interview with SVG where they ask him about the Austin Hill beef because that's all they want to talk about. And he was like all cheery and typical SVG and like, oh, it's, we're even now. It's all behind us. Like everything's great. And like really complimented Austin Hill on how good he is at ovals. And then they immediately cut to an interview with Austin Hill. And of course, they asked him about SVG, and he was just such a fucking sourpuss and like the complete opposite. And he was like, I don't expect to be racing him much today, and like did this chuckle. And then he said he got the better end of the stick last time, but it might be different next time. And
well, there's a good chance he's not going to be racing him in the Xfinity Series much longer because SVG is going to get promoted to Cup at some point. And
And then they showed this clip of them walking to driver intros, and SVG kind of runs up beside him and like pats him on the back and is like trying to be all friendly, like, hey, how's it going? And Austin Hill just like stared at the ground the whole time with his hands in his pockets, like, man, this is why people don't like you. Like, you are not doing yourself any fucking favors.
No, he strikes me as the kind of guy who would scream at a teenager in the cookout drive-thru, Just...
Mr. Piss Pants.
Mr. Piss Pants. Put that on a t-shirt.
SVG did have a rough race. He wrecked in practice and then wrecked in the race, but then Austin Hill wrecked too, so it was great.
So he did kind of call his shot there. He didn't see him much out there, but
no.
Probably not how he imagined that going. But I love this shit. I just hope that SVG picks it up on ovals a little bit more. I know it's a tough thing to do, never having done it before and having all that pressure on you. But, he's locked in the playoffs now, so he can kind of relax a little bit and just kind of hone his craft, and hopefully we see some more out of him. Yeah,
there was also A.J. Allmendinger was in a wreck. He hit the wall pretty good. then they interviewed him afterwards, and he said that the seatbelt got him in the lower extremities really hard, and that he was going to have to get his wife to check his balls later. So
Nice.
yeah.
All in all, a perfect first broadcast for NBC. Which, by the way, I just want to shout them out. Again, there was nothing terribly remarkable about it, but this is the first time in several weeks where I felt like I was actually watching a legitimate sports broadcast. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, you don't really recognize that. And man, it really amplifies some of the dumb shit that NASCAR itself has been doing, because without Fox there to sort of take the aim of the fans off of, some of these things kind of slip through the cracks. But like that, we'll get to it in a second, but that caution that got thrown in the cup race for Daniel Hemrick, which didn't need to happen, immediately getting called out by Jeff Burton and Christopher Bell on the radio and all that. You didn't really see a whole lot of that from the Fox side, and the broadcast is so tight that it was certainly a focal point. So I really, I got to hand it to NBC. I'm looking forward to their coverage for the rest of the year. I definitely miss Dale, but not so much because I feel like they needed him in the broadcast. I just miss him being around.
Yeah.
It's a shame he's not there.
Yeah. In the Xfinity race, NBC did get that great shot of Sam Mayer celebrating out on the start-finish line, and they're like standing behind Riley Herbst watching him celebrate. I don't know if y'all saw that shot or not, but
No, I didn't see that.
it was a really amazing shot.
But yeah, I'm just so stoked to have them back. And yeah, the whole weekend was pretty good. Again, they had some missteps, in the Cup broadcast, and both broadcasts, from what I can tell, but that happens when you're live on TV and you're got sort of a new team. Not having Dale there is not something they're not totally used to, but he didn't do every single broadcast. So, but yeah, shout out to those guys for treating it like the spectacle that it is, with the importance that it is. And the ratings certainly seem to reflect that too. I guess it was the most watched sporting event on the weekend.
Oh, wow.
So, on cable anyway, that is. I think the U.S. Open probably outdrew him for some reason, but not a golf guy. So. I think Brian's back.
I'm back. What did I miss?
We're just talking about how much we liked NBC and how nice it's to have him back.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. It was a real, true sporting event.
And as we move into the Cup broadcast here, I just want to shout out, I love that Highway Star is back as the theme song. That made me want to punch a hole in the cinder block down here in the basement. So
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, me too, because it wouldn't have happened, and I would have had a broken wrist, when nobody wants
Those
that.
are expensive.
Yes, they are. I don't have health insurance right now, so it is what it is. Yeah.
None of us do.
You have to heal on its own.
So, anyways, on to the Cup race. After all the tire issues both Friday and Saturday, and people worried about the repave, I think we ended up with a real nice surprise. The 7/8 mile track, which I didn't even realize it was technically a short track. I thought it was like just over a mile. And then this weekend, it's like, oh, it's the biggest short track there is. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
like,
until they get to Phoenix and they try and make that a short track, or New Hampshire this weekend. They'll try and sneak that in there. But yeah, as far as the true standard goes, Iowa is the biggest. It's not that much bigger than Richmond, right? Or that's about 6/10 of a mile, right?
It's about the same, yeah.
Yeah, I think, Iowa's 7/8, so just a little bit longer. But
they said that Rusty Wallace designed it, and he designed it after Richmond, since he was so good there.
With his improvements, and it worked out. Like, I really enjoyed the race, and I think most people who watched it did. Unless you were a Kyle Larson fan, but that was his own fault.
Well, we'll get to that. I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. He
You want to get this out of the way?
He admitted himself he didn't need to go 3 wide.
He didn't need to do that then, yeah. But also, you shouldn't be pulling moves on guys like Daniel Suarez who can't hold their lane, so it is what it is.
I don't care. I don't care about Daniel Suarez, but
Well,
anyway.
by the way, congrats to him. He passed the citizenship test today. He's a dual citizen of both Mexico and the U.S. now, so congratulations. He now knows more about U.S. civics and history than the average American, so good for him. And that'll help him get a job at Applebee's alongside Corey LaJoy when that comes up in a couple of years. Man, speaking of guys who are going to need to get a job, John Hunter Nemechek just... What that was the shittiest move of the race right there. I was saying to you guys, I've been waiting to fire this one out here, so I'm really proud of this, but he's going to have to change his name to Job Hunter Nemechek pretty soon. for how shitty he's been running.
Just he's really keeping his those stats up that we talked about the other week. Of most accidents.
I'll have to see the updated stats, but I'm pretty sure he's still firmly at the top of that list.
Yeah.
And what a weird career trajectory for him too. To have been at front row, to have been doing pretty good there, for Toyota to pick him back up and send him back to trucks with the sort of unspoken promise. So I don't know what was actually said in the boardroom or on contract or anything like that, but the idea was that they were going to bring him back into the fold, which they did with Legacy. And he's done such a shitty job that it looks like Chase Briscoe is going to get his job. So.
Yeah, how many failed Cup careers can you have?
What a bummer. Not much to say about it other than that, but good God, man, what a fucking bummer for old Job. Who else had a bad day? Corey LaJoie. I think he actually finished pretty well, but he certainly made it as hard as possible on himself. And that wreck with all 3 Spire cars was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was great. Lap 4.
Yeah,
just the whole gang out there.
Little chain reaction. Zane Smith started it, right?
I think Hostfar got into Zane and Zane got into Corey.
Classic. Perfect.
Yeah. You love to see it.
You do love to see it.
Mm-hmm. I guess NBC was doing this new thing during stage 2 where they have their pit reporters sit on the pit box the whole stage.
Yeah.
And they chose Christopher Bell and Corey LaJoie. And he ended up having a pretty eventful up and down day. But I think they picked him because of who his sponsor was that week.
Yeah, the Hawkeye thing.
Hawkeyes, yeah.
Buckeye? I don't know. I don't follow college sports at all. Sorry, guys. But I thought that was a cool little wrinkle. I was curious to see how that'd play out, but definitely a nice little element in the broadcast there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sponsors, McDonald's had 2 very cool paint schemes that translated over to the driver suits for once.
Yep.
With Tyler Reddick dressed up perfectly as the Hamburglar.
A little tease from the Jordan Bianchi collection with that big hat. Yeah, just...
Yeah, I don't know if y'all caught it, but during the pre-race, they cut to him like right after the anthem. So he had taken that big goofy hat off and like placed it over his heart during the anthem and then put it back on afterwards. That was amazing.
Oh, that's so good.
I really appreciate how much Reddick gets into goofy shit.
Yeah, it's a shame that was the highlight of his day. He had a pretty rough Sunday night in Iowa, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think he got trapped a lap down when Stenhouse stayed out. Mm-hmm. And then he just never recovered from that. But yeah, at least he got, I wonder if he got to keep the hat. I hope he got to keep the hat at least. Put that in the trophy case.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened besides Ryan Blaney stomping him?
That stupid caution that didn't need to happen. There's probably a couple of them actually, but there was one with Hemrick.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought the Eric Jones tire issue was way more dangerous. He's just like cruising around 25 miles an hour in the center lane, just trying to get down, and that was totally acceptable. But Daniel Hemrick just takes his usual line, and it was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Or not okay, rather. They threw the yellow for that.
Yeah.
I was even questioning the Gragson one, but I guess he was pretty sideways. That could have gone either way, so you kind of have to, throw the yellow for that, I guess. But that one with Hemrick was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Changed the race, too.
I had old Jerry Berry up front battling pretty hard all day, too.
I was saying to you guys, like, this is the first time Kevin Harvick hasn't been at the racetrack since he started driving, apparently. Mm-hmm. So we're talking pre-9/11, folks. He has been at the racetrack every weekend. And the first weekend he's away, the 4-car all of a sudden has fucking pace.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat to see.
The broadcast did call him Jeff Berry at one point, which I appreciate.
He did almost biff it at one point, though. I forget who he got into.
It was a few times, yeah. Him and Busher.
Yeah, he had a couple of car store moments out there, but that's to be expected, I guess. But
he ended up in the top 10, and Ricky Stenhouse. So out of all the bets I placed, I don't know how many 20-something bets I placed. The only thing that I won money on was like $6 on Stenhouse in the top 10. that's all I won money on. Like I'll take it, but
Yeah.
It's the only time that bet'll pan out for you this year.
I actually doubled down on Chase Elliott because I was convinced that Ryan Blaney was going to have a tire failure and have to come in or something would go wrong.
Yeah.
And then I thought there'd be a restart and the whole thing, but no, apparently not. So I guess I haven't been watching NASCAR at all this year. Well, I guess with Blaney I have been because he has all sorts of bad luck. But those
that
tires.
last lap was pretty stressful.
Yeah. I was also pretty upset at Justin Haley for finishing 13th because that would have paid me nicely for a top 10, which he was running in all fucking day.
Damn.
Another crazy run for that guy. Which apparently might go. They're saying he might go to the Wood Brothers. So I think we might know a little better, but who knows what happens behind the scenes. So I'm starting to think that maybe our little hot tip might not be.
At this point, he has been linked to 2311. Just where the charter is coming from is the unknown, I suppose.
Yeah.
But now he's being linked to the 21. Now that Briscoe's going over to the 19 or maybe the 18, whatever they decide to go with. But weird, silly season week. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Poor Kyle Busch had another rough day.
Oh, yeah.
I guess before the race, I didn't watch the clip, but I guess he had made a comment that he would go back to JGR or HMS if they wanted him. So
Yeah,
Just putting it out there.
is not pleased.
I'm sure not. But he also did say he's not going anywhere. So,
yeah,
contracts can change. They mean nothing. So,
I mean, hell, Childress did the same thing with Reddick a couple years ago. So, money talks.
yeah.
But is the thing is Kyle gonna bring Zone with him to Gibbs? I hope so.
Would they allow it?
I don't know. Is Gibbs not a tobacco or alcohol or any of that stuff sponsor?
Or a sin to Coach Gibbs.
That is probably true.
Could be.
Well, hey, listen. His grandkid has energy drinks, which those are also technically a drug.
And
Kids-
link to
kids
the
can't
beast,
buy 'em.
the devil.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, Ryan Blaney stomped him. That's pretty
He
much
did.
all you
Yeah.
can take away from it. And it's a
Yeah.
shame that that shit happened with Larson because I feel like we would have had a nice battle at the end otherwise. Because Larson was definitely the fastest, but Ryan Blaney was not all that far off, especially on the long run shit. So that would have been a nice little thing to watch. But
I
we'll never
definitely
know.
enjoyed watching Ryan Blaney eat that corn cob in Victory Lane.
With all,
Ryan Blaney ate corn a long way the whole weekend.
with his entire family dressed in gray up in the grandstands.
That was nice, though. I'm glad he could get that win with them there.
Yeah,
Very wholesome.
I only needed to see it once on the broadcast, though. I just kept going back to the fucking minions out there. But yeah, all in all, I love that. It was a great race. Amazing that actually got. I don't really pay much attention to those Jeff Gluck polls all that much, but got a really high rating, which was cool.
Yeah,
did.
I mean, people on Twitter were into it. Like, nobody was bitching about the race at all on Sunday. So,
Yeah, and not to harp on Fox, but I'm curious to see what the number would have been. It's not like an actual. That poll is not an actual indicator of what's a good race or not, but it's definitely an indicator of immediate fan reaction. And NBC did a good job of kind of staying engaged with the entire race, and I'm curious to see if it was the old team, how they would have presented it, and if people would have had the same ideas, because they were pretty strung out for a little bit.
Yeah, well, NBC was so good at like showing replays, like instantly showing. Like they had 3 screens at one point showing
Triple
battles.
screen, the boxes,
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't see any like full screen commercials. Every commercial they did was side by side,
Yeah,
and they have 30 minutes post race. So
I
like,
was just gonna say that the little icing on the cake, an actual post-race show.
Yeah.
So it definitely bodes well for the rest of the year, and they've always done a pretty good job. I'm sure people will find something to complain about pretty soon, but just baseline quality. I said it at the top of this segment. If it's watching a real sporting event, and it feels like it, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what Lee Diffie does when he steps over later in the year, because Rick's gonna be calling like, I don't know, speed jogging and shit like that, or whatever, whatever they stick him on the Olympic coverage.
I did notice that Kyle Petty was missing, so maybe he's going with Dale Jr.
Interesting.
What the hell is Kyle Petty have to do with it? What the fuck? What the fuck?
mean, if he
Getting
just
a new
picked forever,
job.
I'd be fine.
Any more thoughts on Iowa before we move it on to the
I don't think so.
next
it was-
part of the show?
Well, we got to talk about
Are you going to
Truex,
talk about
obviously.
Chastain's
Chastain, what did he
practice?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
tow truck?
So America,
Oh, yeah.
most of America NASCAR fans were introduced to the double hook, which is something that I thought everybody knew what was. We don't see it in NASCAR all that often because, it's closed fenders and, in modified country, you see two tow trucks back up all the time and cart somebody off for fucking up. And honestly, there's even a beer. Stafford Motor Speedway has its own beer that's brewed by, what are they called? Brabrook, I think. A local brewery. It's called Double Hooked, and it has a picture of a modified on the can being hauled off. So
That's great.
I saw him do it, and I was like, oh shit, they're double hooking him. That's cool. And then the booth just freaking the fuck out. I was like, how do you guys not know what this is? And then they brought the roller skates out, and then then I understood what the confusion was all about. I really hope they don't do that again. That was 15 minutes of my life that
15
I'm
minutes, yeah.
never getting back.
Yeah.
I
I guess it's better than poor Jesse Love in the Xfinity race.
Oof.
His car caught on fire while on the tow truck.
That was a bad hit.
Yeah.
That was a really bad hit. I don't like Jesse Love, but I don't like seeing guys hit the wall like that either. So hope he's taking a couple of Excedrins and he's feeling better. He's prayed up. So. Well, you guys want to talk about Truex a little bit?
Yeah, we got to talk about
Yeah,
Truex.
let's get that over with.
Yeah, he's gone. It's over.
Okay.
Game over.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of sad that this man has been around for so long. He's one of the best of this era, and he had to announce his retirement in front of a picture of a giant corn cob.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have given a shit though. Like he just wanted to get it over
No.
with.
He's
Yeah,
ready to
of
go
course,
fishing. He's
but-
done.
Yeah.
He bought a boat.
Yeah.
He's ready to be on it. Like that's the way it is. He says he wants to come back and run races here and there. And Denny offered the not olive branch, but he offered him a car whenever he wants it. And that's the kind of guy you want in a car for you at like Daytona or someplace like that. But we'll see. I'm curious to see if he actually does it.
Yeah. They did release Radioactive today. They're still doing that. And there was a clip of James Small asking Martin during the race to move the mic closer to his mouth because he couldn't hear him. And Martin was like, it doesn't ever matter what I say anyway. So,
Over it.
Yeah, he's having a
so
good
fucking
time.
over it.
It's very rare we get to see the moment that a guy makes the decision, though. And at Sonoma when he ran out of gas, I think that was most definitely... That was the final straw. You got to hear it just crack right there in the car.
We got to watch it in slow motion as he creeped across the line.
But we can't also discount the theory that Cole Pern, his old crew chief, talked about this weekend on Twitter, that the tungsten butt plug, it fell out. Can't keep it in anymore. And that's why it's time. So
Yeah.
Don't need that to pass tech anymore. So. But yeah, it's a shame to see him go. I was a big fan of Truex for a long time. Once he got to JGR and started getting a little complainy, and I kind of soiled him for me a little bit, but still talented. I don't hate to see him win, and it's definitely sad to see one of the old timers. Crazy to say that he's one of the old timers now.
yeah.
People kind of wrote him off after the whole MWR thing, and then a few years later he was a champion with a team that really had no business being a championship team. So that's about as cool as it gets in stock car racing, and I'm going to miss seeing Martin out there for sure.
Well, it's fine. Apparently Chase Briscoe's going to take his seat, which, how do we all feel about that? I think I'm fine with it.
I think it's a cool choice. I think he fits in with the vibe of the team. He's a God-fearing guy, and he's not afraid to talk about that. Coach loves that. And he's a pretty talented race car driver. The sad thing is he's probably not going to be able to run dirt anymore once that Gibbs contract takes over. So this weekend at Loudon, when he runs in a 360 sprint at the dirt track, might be one of the last times you'll get to see him do it. So if you're going to be up at Loudon, swing on through and watch him whoop on the local boys. Because that's what he does.
That's the first time I've ever heard anyone actually mention that in all this. So we're breaking a story here, folks. Nobody's talking about that.
It's true. Yeah, and it's a shame because he's pretty good in a sprint car, and I enjoyed seeing him at the Chili Bowl and other races. So yeah, we'll see. I can't imagine they're gonna let him do that, though. Christopher Bell has kind of been stepping back into a midget at Millbridge and shit like that. So maybe they're getting a little more relaxed about it, but and hopefully that's not the end. But there's a very good chance it could be for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, will Coach Gibbs do the Mahindra tractors commercials with Chase?
Fucking better. You gonna send Denny out there? That guy's never seen a tractor. His dad has, but maybe not him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So what other silly season stuff is there to really talk about? I think
We kind of covered it. A little piece from the IndyCar world. The whole Augustine Canapino thing coming to a close. I feel like I have to mention this because we mentioned it 2 episodes in a row. He'll be back in the car pretty soon, Augustine. So I guess him and Argentina have had a nice little timeout. And the French kid that got threatened just got fired for Nolan Siegel. So Nolan Siegel just signed a several-year contract with McLaren, apparently. So, yeah, that's that.
Sorry, Pierre.
Yeah.
Cool.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. in peace.
And speaking of IndyCar, though, Fox is going to be broadcasting the entire series next year on the main channel. No FS1, no FS2 bullshit.
Yeah.
Just straight up Fox the whole time. So enjoy that, IndyCar. You get to deal with the Fox broadcast team.
R.I.P. IndyCar.
I mean, it's definitely cool that shit's going to be on over-the-air television. That's a huge step, and that's something NBC wouldn't offer them, so... That's ultimately, I think they offered a little bit more money too. I actually had it backwards when we were talking about it last week. I thought NBC was the one who was trying to offer most of the races, if not all of them, on the big channel. But I guess it was Fox, plus a little bit more money. So we'll see what they put together. It could be good. You never know. But I think if the Fox quality of broadcast wasn't what it was on the NASCAR side, that IndyCar fans would be way more excited about this because everything else about it fucking rules. Like Indy Lights is going to be on FS1. All the qualifying is going to be on cable TV. That's a big step up from what Peacock was doing and NBC was doing. So I'm cautiously optimistic, and at least I'll be able to not have cable to watch that. So could be good. Might be fucking terrible, but it could be good.
We'll just see. We'll see how their little cartoon drawings come out.
Yeah, as long as they don't bring back fucking Scott Goodyear and Eddie Cheever, I'll be fine. It's like listening to people call numbers out at the DMV with those fucking 2 guys. Awful.
So Rob, you are going to be going to New Hampshire this weekend.
Yes.
And it's the X lot you're going to be in, correct? That's where the partying happens?
That's right.
Now, it looks like you found an enterprising businessman with an idea in the parking lot.
Yeah, capitalism is alive and well in the Loudon campground. So I'm part of a Facebook group for the campgrounds at Loudon, just mostly for laughs. But and this is certainly a laugh. Some guy, I'll even tell you where he is at. X-Lot site 11 and 12. He has rented a porta potty for his site, which is a pretty common deal. But he is charging $10 per use, and you can Venmo him or pay him cash on site, and he'll let you in there to do your business for $10 a pop, or for $99 for an all-access pass for the whole weekend. And my question to you guys is, how bad is it worth for $10? And I'm staying in there for a couple hours if I'm paying $10.
Yeah, I'm getting my money's worth.
I like your opinion, Brian, that it's going to get pissed on more than being pissed in because of that.
Thinking about this now, if he was charging like $1 per use or like $20 all access, I probably wouldn't be that pissed off. But even then, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not shitting in a fucking porta potty. That is a dire situation to do that.
Yeah. How much does it cost to rent your own porta potty? $100?
Couple hundred bucks, and they deliver it and all that shit. And it seems like for the amount of times you'll probably end up needing that over the weekend. These people are doing nothing but eating chips and bologna out there. So
Kansas
spam.
Geez.
Yeah. So it's necessary.
Beans.
And especially on a rainy weekend, which it seems like we might be in for. Let me tell you, I can understand how some people might get desperate, but yeah, $10 in this fucking economy, get out of here with that shit. Yeah. It's gonna get tipped over. Hopefully without a patron inside of it. So.
Well, it's gonna need you to track it down this weekend.
I'm gonna go take a picture with it.
Keep an eye on it.
Don't you worry about that, folks.
Maybe do like a before and after, like the beginning of the weekend and the end of the weekend, how pissed on it is.
Yeah, I'll do one of those gotcha news kind of segments, like a John Stossel deal. I'll track the guy down and I'll give him the rub,
Yeah.
Which I guess that's probably what you'd spend $10 on for a porta potty, is the rub or some other gross campground hookup shit. So, ugh. I'm sorry. Let's move on from that. That's disgusting.
Well, I was about to say,
the next topic is disgusting.
We're not quite at the septic tank yet, but we've got a couple pit stops on the way there. And the first off is the DARF of the week, which is equally as gross.
Yeah, Brian found this one. I'll let you take this.
So I mean, it comes from the shitposting group. So I'm assuming one of the shitposters posted this in one of the Chase Elliott fan groups, because they do this a lot. Yeah. And they posted, "If you love Chase Elliott, say skeet on me, Chase." And there were more than one replies of skeet and skeet on me.
Skeet on me, skeet.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on over there in the Chase Elliott group.
Scott and Perry, they both look like boomers. They look like they're my dad's age, and I'm positive that my dad has no idea what that means. If you were to say skeet, he would think skeet shooting.
Shooting, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like, okay.
Yeah, skeet on me, baby.
I gotta point this out though. I personally, unless I know what it is, and even then, most times I don't really want anything on me. Like, don't do anything on me.
Yeah.
It's never something like pleasant.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well. Yeah.
Yeah, more of a distributor, less of a warehouse.
Well, it's boomer Facebook for you.
Yep. Skeet on me, Chase. The actual DARF of the week comes from the Weber Valley Speedway Facebook group. For those of you who don't know what that is, I highly recommend you follow it. It's depending on who you ask, it's a fictional dirt track somewhere in Iowa. I don't know where the fuck it's supposed to be. Kentucky, West Virginia, who knows?
It's all the same.
But they posted, they've been doing this really funny shit where they'll like get AI images of a dirt track. And this week they posted one of a water truck on its side, just completely dumping its contents out all over the place. And of course, it's ripe with misspelling. It's perfect Facebook bait. But the post they posted says, our water truck wrecked at intermission, spurting water everywhere, and we was unable to continue last night's race and had to cancel. We'll try again next week. Since the event was 50% completed, there are no refunds. To which this guy Randy, he responds, and again, totally missing the point on what this page is. And before I kind of make fun of you, I'm sorry for your loss, but he says, this is not funny at all. We lost one of our promoters back in 2008 when the water truck tipped over and crushed him, which broke his neck. Which Weber Valley responds, agree, it sucks bad anytime your water truck flips and loses water, but it's even worse when someone is standing under it when it flips. And they go back and forth for a little bit, but Randy, it's a joke. It's not a real place. This didn't happen. I'm sorry that happened to you, but
yeah, the great 2008 water truck flip did happen to Randy.
And whoever that happened to, rest in peace. I am really sorry about that, but it's Weber Valley fucking Speedway. Just don't follow them if you don't want to see shit like that. So there's no punishment handed out, just a little warning to just stay away if you stay out of the kitchen if you can't handle the misspellings. So that's our DARF of the week. DARVs of the week.
So yeah, on to now going back to the toilet talk. It's the short track septic tank.
We've been inside the toilet for a little while.
This whole episode is just only gonna get worse.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me tell you. Speaking of racetracks that seem fictional, Thompson held a big open modified show last Thursday. I wasn't, I think I lied to you guys in the show and said I wasn't going to the racetrack at all, but I decided that I was going to go, and I did. Because the open modified shows are usually pretty good. And I was at my house, and I thought I'd check Race Monitor to see who checked in, who was practicing. And I only saw 5 cars on the timing and scoring. And I thought, well, maybe they're just doing groups. Maybe everyone's not there yet. It is a Thursday, you know. Showed up at the track, and nope, there was only 5 modifieds there. Just 5. And there were some local divisions, too. They all put on some good shows. But those car counts, not great either. In fact, the turnout was so bad on the car side. There was a lot of fans there, so credit to them and Thompson for, you know, packing the house on a Thursday night. That was fucking awesome. But the car count was so bad that Thompson has suspended their open modified series. They will not be doing that anymore ever again, apparently. They're going to up the purse on their crate modified series, and they're bringing the Sunoco mod name back to it, which a lot of people are pissed off about because they use crate engines, and that's not what the SKs that they used to run had. But I don't know. It's definitely a bummer to walk into that place and see a low car count, because that track, I won't say it's on its last legs, but the guys who are promoting it now are definitely, you know, this is the second wind for the racetrack. And it sucks to see them try and get, you know, a semi-weekly regular track program going, and to have that few cars show up, it definitely sucks. So hopefully they're able to turn that around. I love that racetrack. Obviously they make a lot of money. I don't think the racetrack's going anywhere. It's just the oval, if that ever comes to it. But such a legendary oval. You know, Cup racing has been there before, back in the 60s. You know, I mean, the modified history there is so fucking deep. And we've actually had a couple videos from Thompson Speedway featured in the Video of the Week segment before. So just a legendary spot. So hopefully this isn't a hint at what's to come. But yeah, definitely heartbreaking for everybody involved. And Ronnie Williams did beat the other 5 guys out there, so good for him. He took home $5,000 for his troubles.
Nice.
But you went to the racetrack too, True Love.
Shoot, yeah.
True. Did you go to Dixie?
I did. I went to Dixie on Saturday night. It was 95 degrees.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. I haven't been to a local dirt track in a minute. Dixie's a little D-shaped red clay oval, 3/8 mile in Woodstock, Georgia.
Nice.
But
I saw some late models out there. What, was that a series, like the local guys, or what was that?
Well, they had 602 late models, 604 late models, and then they had the Dixie late models, which is, I guess, local. They're topless, they kept calling them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they also had some open wheel dirt modifieds and the Stingers.
Nice.
Sounds like a pack of bees, so
Yes.
it was good. It was great racing all night. Like,
Looked like a lot of people were there. A lot of children, from what you showed us.
yes. So I sent the guys a video of this, but in between races, there's a grassy knoll in between the grandstands and the fence, and it turns into the free childcare services.
And Lord of the Flies down there.
Yes. I saw some really brutal, like, WCW body slam wrestling going on down there. Like, kids... I'm surprised I didn't see some, like, snapped arms, because there was no adult supervision.
They're just having fun. It's fine.
Well... yeah, so...
Yeah, you'll have to post that video because it was pure chaos.
It looked like someone kicked an ant pile.
Yeah, it really did.
Speaking of ants, I went... So, Dixie is apparently known for their corn dogs, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get a corn dog. But I kept seeing people eating them around me, and they were, like, almost black on the outside. I was like, what is going on with these corn dogs? So I go and find a concession stand. There's no signs on the outside of it, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I get in line. I stand in line forever, and I get up to the front, and they're like, no, this is the dessert concession stand. I was like, fuck. It's like, well, I'm not going to go stand in line again. I just stood in this one forever. So I just got a bunch of fucking fried desserts. But the entire counter that I was standing at was covered in ants because everything comes covered in powdered sugar.
Yeah.
But I do highly recommend their fried Oreos if anyone ever goes. Those were real good.
That's I wouldn't say it's rare to come across those, but it's not something you see all the time. And man, I will fuck those up anytime I see them.
Yeah, they were great. It was also like a truck night, so they had like a truck show, and then they had a truck pull, which was fun, and then like the grand finale of the evening that everyone stayed late for was going to be a truck demolition derby, and it's time for the demolition derby, and 3 trucks come out there.
Fuck off.
But those 3 trucks really did some damage to each other. Like, they put on a show for a 3-truck deal.
Sounds like that modified race at Thompson.
Yeah. I don't know if these people were related or what, but they named their trucks Rebel, which was number 3, Rebel Jr., which is number 3.5, and Georgia Rebel. And Georgia Rebel won and parked it in victory lane, and the guy goes up to interview the driver, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's a woman." And this lady named Crystal comes out. So, Dixie Speedway, ladies and gentlemen.
I would say the odds of those 3 trucks being owned by the same people or a family are probably 50-50. I could also see 3 trucks being named Rebel rolling into that place. So. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, there was a lot of dirt racing and all sorts of other racing this weekend. We'll try and plow through this as quickly as possible because it was jam-packed. World of Outlaws were in Knoxville. David Gravel got a big win on the prelim night. Corey Day getting, I think, is this his first Outlaw win? I can't remember. He's only been around like 6 weeks, and he's already busting people up in High Limit and World of Outlaws. That was really impressive. Over at Ultimate, Hudson O'Neill won the Sidney Langston Memorial, a little Sunday night show that was actually free on Dirt Vision. I shouted that out on our Instagram channel, so hopefully some of y'all are able to tune in and watch that. It was a great race. It happened during the middle of the Cup race, and it only took about 20 minutes to get done after about 3 hours of autographs and balloons and shit like that. But it was definitely worth the wait. Let's see here. Brandon Overton picked up $50,000 at Smoky Mountain and the Lucas Oil Show. That was pretty cool. Friend of the program, Kyle Armstrong, was there, and he was saying the amount of time it took for them to prep the track was just soul-sucking.
Oh, no.
And I actually fell asleep on my couch waiting for that shit to happen. So I only know Brandon Overton won. I didn't see it.
I was actually watching that. It took like an hour. It was absolute dog shit.
It was a long wait.
Yeah.
Over on the asphalt side, Butterbean Queen won a Dominion in the Cars Tour. Bubba Pollard picked up a big win at Money in the Bank at Berlin. You watched that race, right, Bram?
Yeah, apparently on delay, I guess, but I did watch the second half of it, and it was pretty good.
Hell of a race. Eric Jones was in the mix for a while. Carson Hocevar was also there, and I think there was another NASCAR guy hanging out. I guess you could count Bubba Pollard as one of those since he's run a couple of Xfinity races, but that's kind of a technicality. Over on the USAC side of things, Eastern Storm just wrapped up. Mitchell Mose won the title. Briggs Danner got his first USAC win. Logan Seavey, Brady Bacon, and Kevin Thomas Jr. also getting wins there. This weekend has a lot of big shit coming up. Of course, I'm going to be at Loudon all weekend. The highlight of the weekend for me is 100% the NASCAR modified race on Saturday. There's a stacked entry list. Speaking of Cup guys, Ryan Preece is going to be running that.
Nice.
God, who else is going to be there? Justin Bonsignor, of course, all the regular stars. Doug Coby's driving the Tenio 44, which doesn't happen all that often. He's done it a couple times this year, but that's kind of a new arrangement. That's pretty cool to see. Also, what the fuck's his name? Luke Baldwin is going to be making his Willem Modified Tour debut up north here, so that'll be exciting to watch. But yeah, that race is always great. It's going to be on Flow Racing. I highly recommend you watch it. They put restrictor plates on the modifieds, and they don't pack up like they do like Daytona or Talladega, but it's a big, big drafting race, and they're super fast, and it's easily the best race of the weekend at Loudon. Also, World of Outlaws, High Bank Nationals at Huset's. The late models are going to be at Thunderhill and Brownstown, Independence, and Hamilton. That's right. That's a big stretch for the World of Outlaw late models. Lucas Oil is going to be in Lernerville for the Firecracker 100. Stafford's actually picking up the Casella Open 80, which is the modified race I went down to and got pissed on by God himself. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go back and finish the job with Carson Lofton, but he is coming back up with his family, and they're going to finish that race out. So good luck to them. What else is going on? The Keem Parts 150 at Lee Speedway up here in New England on Friday night. Kyle Busch is running that, so that'll be an exciting show. I went to that a few years ago. There's usually at least one or two Cup drivers that'll show up. Tyler Reddick has raced it before. Kyle Busch has raced it before. They always put on a show. And then, let's see, USAC is going to be at Madison this weekend as well. And one last thing before we flush the tank down. Speaking of Stafford, there's a go-kart series they run there on Monday nights for the kids. And apparently somebody went in and smashed up a bunch of the TVs in the bathroom and put all kinds of graffiti and shit everywhere and all that.
The nicest bathrooms on the planet at a racetrack?
Yeah, come on, kids.
Jeez,
come on.
That's why we can't have nice things.
You can't have nice things. But I only mention that because just don't, we said it before on the show, just don't be a dick at the racetrack. Don't do shit like that. I don't care how old you are, how much of a moron you are, or whatever. Keep it to yourself. Don't smash the flat screens at the urinals. What am I going to watch flow on when I'm taking a piss? So, but yeah, big weekend of racing. Like I said, I will be at Loudon. If anyone listening to this is going to be up there, we'll be in the X slot, and I'll be bopping around all weekend. So if you want to come have a beer and piss on that $10 porta potty with me, let's link up and do it. And we'll tip it over. But we're not going to tip this one over. We're just going to flush it.
What day are you heading up there?
I'm leaving pretty early Friday morning to try and beat the Friday evening rush of RVs.
Yeah.
Because it gets a little tough to get in there, but we really should probably park it earlier than that, but that's not going to happen. So we're going to... It was fine last year. I'm sure it'll be okay this year. But yeah, I'll be up there Friday through Monday, so I'll be there for the entire weekend.
Nice.
And if there's a rain delay, I'll be able to stick around for that too, which is always fun. And I've said this plenty of times on here. If you have a chance to camp at the racetrack, just do it. It's so much fun. And Loudon is definitely one of the better party tracks from what I gather, and they go the fuck off in the X lot, which is why we always stay there. So, which, by the way, speaking of which, I have when you buy 2 campsites, apparently you get a free ticket, and I didn't realize this. So I've got an extra ticket to the Cup race that I just cannot get rid of. So if anyone out there wants a fucking NASCAR Cup ticket for Sunday, hit me up. I'll call it $20, or hell, if it's for listening to the show, I'll just give the damn thing to you. So yeah, if you're gonna be at Loudon and you want a ticket, hit me up. And if no one offers me a lot of money for it, which they won't, it's all yours. So. And by the way, if either you want to come up, I have a ticket for you. So.
I wish.
I wish. Yeah, it's too far for me right now.
Yeah.
So we had 3 videos this week, and the first 2 are fine. The last one, a lot to say, but we'll start it off with the Iowa Racing Report. Now, I was just looking for some random old shit, Iowa related, since we were going to be in Iowa this weekend, and from what I gather, this is kind of like a This Week on Dirt type series that probably ran in some local markets in the Iowa area. I mean, Iowa, obviously, with Knoxville there, has a lot of racing shit going on, and unfortunately, this 10-minute clip was kind of cut up quite a bit. I feel like there was a segment missing in the middle. But it was interesting enough. Let me see here. I'm sorry, my notes are missing here. The host was Jeff Grummy, or Grumwee, I guess. And he was there to talk about a guy named Steve Jackson, because Steve Jackson was a local street stock racer, and he was having a big story in a magazine. Now, what magazine was this? Delta Sky. That's right. The Delta Airlines in-flight magazine that they kept in, all the flights back. I'm sure they still have it now. I don't fucking know, but...
they come with the crosswords pre-filled out in the back for you.
Yeah, and this guy, I mean, apparently they had NASCAR and stuff back then. I mean, this was 97. At this point in life, I'd probably only been on 2 or 3 flights, so I can't say I was too familiar with in-flight reading material, but good for him. It's
Still
always
not.
nice that, well, regardless. So apparently the editor of this magazine wanted wanted a local racer. Apparently, I don't know why. Like, who the fuck on a Delta flight or any flight really, some random idiot is gonna care about a local short track guy? I mean, good for this guy, but just very funny how excited everybody was for this successful local guy getting a spotlight in the backs of airline seats.
Yeah, definitely cool. But yeah, I'd love to see that magazine. I want to see this story.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's out there on eBay for 50 cents somewhere.
A lot of 6. So.
There were some commercials in this short clip, and one of them, now I don't know much about Mecum auctions. I mean, I know they're big and they're on TV and stuff now, but this was 97, and I'm guessing they were still fairly small at this point, because it seemed like a fairly low budget affair compared to the shows they run now.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't on cable television like it is now, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. But I just thought that was interesting to see them pop up. There was a Knoxville commercial for the Speedway, which, that was cool. Then there was one that really piqued my interest, a company called Intensity, which, they're t-shirt printers, and they would design t-shirts for you. A couple of these I'd actually seen before, so I'm familiar with their work, and it was pretty nice. So I don't know. And anytime there's merch-related stuff, I'm always gonna check that out. And then there was a commercial for Clement Chevy, Oldsmobile Buick, probably, I'm assuming. And the best way I can describe this woman, I know it's not accurate, it's probably just more of the fashion at the time, but she looked like a stepmom to me, even though she was probably like 26.
Yeah.
Like,
man, that black pleather vest that she was wearing was very distracting.
It was a different time in fashion. Not a very flattering outfit, but she was a good pitch woman for the Chevys. Then the TV show went out to a different speedway called Hancock County Speedway, with the IMCA stocks and sprint cars. Now they were the 360 sprints, which I think I've seen before at Attica, which are kind of like, Sportsman and 358 modifieds compared to big blocks. Like, same type of cars, just, not quite as fast. Bunch of flips and stuff. That was fun to see. And then they go over to just a regular weekly race at Knoxville with the ASCS sprint cars. Lots of wrecks there. They mentioned Doug Wolfgang, so he was still racing at this point. And then the clip kind of cuts off after the announcer makes a joke about the Burger King car ending up in a roll. So, a nice way to end things, I guess, quite bluntly, but just a random piece of local flair.
Yeah, the Mecum thing really threw me for a loop. I'd never seen sort of the beginning of that, or the pre-television days, because you turn on your television pretty much any hour of the day, that's going to be on somewhere.
Yeah. And
to see an ad for it at like a state fairgrounds was kind of cool. Just under a big white tent,
It's interesting.
For me, having just gone to Dixie Speedway with their like super red dirt, then seeing these clips from the Midwest of Hancock County and that dark dirt.
Yeah.
Was a stark contrast, but this video definitely had more commercials than it did racing segments.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very, very much like missing a segment in the middle there, because it went from like straight commercials to commercials, unfortunately. But
maybe that guy read his article out of the Delta In-Flight magazine or something, and they just cut that because it was copyright infringement.
Yeah, there you go. So moving on to the next video, which this one I think was definitely the actual highlight of the week.
This is a legit cool piece here.
This is definitely cool. So we get another clip from the exciting world of Speed and Beauty, which we've watched some stuff of theirs in the past. And I don't know exactly what year this was filmed, but probably somewhere between 88 and 91, if I had to guess. But it's a clip of a drag racer named Cleo Chandler. It starts off with just old, 70-something-year-old grandma watching her son race. I don't know what class that is, but it's like not quite a Top Fuel thing, but that Top Fuel look. I don't know drag racing that well, but you know what I'm talking about.
I think it was Top Alcohol.
Top Alcohol. There you go. That works. And basically, she's been the supportive mother throughout his career. And, this guy's probably in his 40s, maybe early 50s at the latest. And after being the supportive mom and watching for years, and also as she's watching the Christmas tree count down, she's timing this, just tapping on the railing in front of her, and she's like, you know what? My reaction time is better than these guys. So after I don't know how many years doing this, her son decides to buy her an old Chevelle so she can start drag racing. And lo and behold, she actually knows her shit, and she ends up winning a bunch, which is not what I was expecting the story to develop into. But yeah, her son Ed, bought her this Chevelle to race, and she was very excited, but the way she showed it was very subtle. Like, I don't think the tone of her voice changed no matter what she was talking about throughout this entire video. No. The expression on her face was just very stern and gruff. Like, very, not a very sweet granny, a very, surly granny, I would say. But still badass, don't get me wrong. But just not the granny that we're necessarily expecting.
Yeah, definitely a grandma that's been going to the drag strip for 100 years. So, her son Ed bought her this Chevelle, and I didn't catch the track promoter's name, but he was completely surprised that this was actually really happening. This grandma was gonna start driving at the track, and that's when Racing Granny was born. Yep. But it turned out she knew her shit, and she actually could drive. And a guy named Linda Revels learned quickly when he got put on the trailer by the Racing Granny. Apparently, she put a lot of guys on the trailer. Yep. She earned a lot of respect from her fellow drivers, which another guy we talked to was a guy named Ray Grice, who had tons of respect for her, raced her like any other guy on the track. These were the characters in this video, if you didn't watch, folks. But she has a 65 Malibu, which, pro stock or whatever, I don't know what exact class, but Mama's Toy was the name of this thing. Yep. Gorgeous red and white paint. And, Racing Granny. I don't know what else to say. Like, she was actually a badass. And so I did a little bit of research. I couldn't, obviously she's no longer with us, but I couldn't find an obituary or anything. I just saw that she stopped racing. She wanted to race till she was 100, and she stopped racing in 81. So that was in the late 90s is when she stopped. Still pretty good.
So, yeah.
My favorite part about this video was her kind of describing some of the adversities she'd gone through. I guess she had a heart issue and some other stuff happened to her. And her whole recovery was based around, when can I get back in the car as quickly as possible? And I just think it's funny, and I love this. No matter how old you are, who you are, where you come from, gender, whatever the fuck, once that racing bug bites you, that's it. There's no coming back from that addiction. So I just love this. I love to see the similarity between, folks of all walks of life and ages and whatever who get into this thing and cannot get out because they love it so much. And it was nice to see that from somebody you wouldn't normally see it from, and have her be successful too. That's just kind of icing for me.
Yeah.
Cool shit.
True. You're waiting on me?
Oh yeah.
I don't have anything to add. I think we covered it, but it was a real wholesome little video. I wish it was a little bit longer, but
yeah, it's crazy because, like I said, I tried to do research, and you can't find much about her, which you'd think there would be. Apparently, she's in the Alabama Hall of Fame, or Sports Hall of Fame, I think it is.
That's cool.
She's got some stuff there, but I couldn't really find much about her, which is a real shame because you would think someone with that story would have a little more reverence in the sport, But again, I mean, compared to other forms of motorsports, there's been a lot of women over the years in drag racing, so I guess at some point, they don't.
Yeah, it's not quite as novel as other sports. I also wish this video was longer. I could have watched a few more minutes of that, and I certainly wish it was longer than this next video. Wow. Let me get another. Let me freshen my drink for this. I popped the Zen too early, and the buzz is settled. So I really got to get right here before we go on a tour with these guys. Fuck me.
I don't know what sparked this. I was just kind of searching for diecast videos. I was like, yeah, let's watch something.
That was your
about
first
diecast.
mistake.
Yeah, and he's like, well, those went over real well with the gang last time we did it, so let's do it again.
Well, just you wait. So what I was actually trying to find was something like about the diecast industry, or more on that level, like something somewhat educational. Yeah. But the rabbit hole is deep and has many different crevices.
Oh, it was educational, I'll say that.
Yeah, well, I feel dumber from having watched this video. Quite the opposite effect.
More questions than answers here.
So, the channel is called The Combustion Boys, and it's two gentlemen,
guys.
combustion guys. Yeah. They're guys from Florida. But I don't think you would necessarily know it when you listen to them talk. At least the one guy. Did anybody catch their names? Because I don't think I did.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Todd is the guy in the Newman shirt, and then Bear is the guy in the Larson shirt.
Okay, of course the guy Bear has that name. Okay. Yeah. Bear is really the host of this, I would say, and he's the color commentary. And,
he's the star.
The other guy is the straight man. I guess you want to call it the straight man.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, again, these folks are from Florida apparently, but again, you wouldn't necessarily know it because Bear has this completely unrecognizable accent that kind of comes in and out. Definitely when he's more excited, he is much more like animated, and it's very pronounced. I put it this way: I think he's like a teenage Peter Griffin as a theater kid. But we all have our ways of describing it. I don't know how. What do you guys like? What is your way?
I'm trying not to get canceled here.
Yeah, same. Unrecognizable accent. It's. I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it.
I will say
in a way that is savory. So.
Yeah, I watched a couple other videos out of curiosity, and he seems to be someone that enjoys doing fake accents. Like there was one video I watched of an energy drink review, and he tried to do like a British accent the whole time.
Boy.
And but when he gets excited, he gets very like sing-songy with the way he speaks too, so I don't know if that adds to it. It was a lot.
Yeah, it's right off the bat.
He's a Seth MacFarlane fan, let's just say that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a nice way to put it.
But in this video, they go to Buc-ee's, right? And what's the title of the video? Like these
diecast hunting at Buc-ee's. It was total false advertising because they're. Okay, we've all been to Buc-ee's, right? I have never seen a diecast car in Buc-ee's. Like Buc-ee's just has Buc-ee's branded bullshit.
Yeah, which I wouldn't be surprised if there was something in there.
I guess like in the toy side. I didn't look at
like a Hot
toys
Wheels.
at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Like you know. But these guys are just so goddamn excited to be in a Buc-ee's because apparently where they're actually from, they don't have too many of them. And the guy's like singing at the employees, and the straight man is like
explaining. Look at all the sandwiches.
The one guy's like, look at, they have large, extra large, all the different sodas, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the Newman guy was obsessed with the sodas.
Yeah, loved the sodas. Meanwhile, what's his name again? Bear. Bear decided he needed 4 barbecue sauces. He loved the fucking barbecue sauce so much he had to buy 4 bottles of this. Like, what's so special about this barbecue sauce? Please, somebody tell me.
It's got a beaver on it.
I guess.
I mean, look, I think I'm the only guy on the show here that actually enjoys Buc-ee's.
Yeah, you are.
But I don't see it as the sort of white people Disneyland as others do. It's just there's just a lot of shit in there, and I like that. And the gas is relatively cheap, you know. And I have a nice Buc-ee's cooler I got for real cheap in there, so I like them. It's fine. If it's not too jam packed, I'll go in and I'll put a few thousand calories in. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I mean, I'll admit the snacks are cool, but the rest of it, like, I don't.
Not 4 jars of barbecue sauce cool by any means.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they racked up a $62 tab at Buc-ee's. So.
Yeah. No die casts, by the way.
Nope, not one.
And then Then these fucking assholes hop in the car and they go to Walmart to look for diecast, which
Not just one Walmart. They will go to 4 Walmarts.
but not to
And a Target.
and for those of you
And a
keeping
Target.
score at home, is not Buc-ee's. Walmart is not Buc-ee's. Not even share a
They
parking lot.
they just used Buc-ee's to fuel up before they...
And then they bought sandwiches and left them up on the dash to eat between.
2 whole Walmart trips that Buc-ee's sandwich was baking in the dash.
Just keeping them warm.
Oh, God.
Yeah, these guys are diecast hunters, which I'll be.
Sure.
Brian quit.
He's so mad.
He felt so guilty for making us watch this.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I think he enjoyed it.
No.
Okay, so I'll admit I've watched some diecast hunting videos in the past, so I kind of knew what I was getting into here. But
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I did not.
That makes
know
2
what
of
I
us
was
true
signing
love.
up for.
Yeah.
I don't. It sounds like you guys actually go and look at the Hot Wheels and diecast more often than I do. I'll admit
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah, I don't go every time. Like once in a while, if I'm.
It was funny. I was sitting there judging these guys, and I realized they're literally doing this the same shit I do when I go to Walmart. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Every time I go to Walmart, I'll walk down the diecast aisle and look at the NASCAR ones. But I'm not standing on the aisle for 20 minutes going into great detail and singing songs at the diecasts in different accents and filming videos of it and putting it on the internet.
Well, you're not a collector though. You're just looking.
Well,
at
I am.
But you don't collect diecast. You don't collect diecast like these guys.
I have a small collection of the Walmart ones because they're cheap.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I don't.
not to the level of these guys.
No.
I'm not hunting down every single one.
Well, listen. If you paid attention, they were in a diecast drought for months, and now all of a sudden they go on this trip, and the first 3 WalMarts all had cars they wanted.
Yeah.
This guy was, even though he was in a Kyle Larson shirt, he was kind of all over the board with the diecast to his collection. He got Keselowski, Briscoe, Buescher. He was really looking for the Ryan Newman hot dog trailer. That was the one thing he was on the search.
I'm sure he was.
Couldn't find it.
Aren't we all on the hunt
We all
for the Ryan
just
Newman
looking
hot
for a
dog
hot
trailer?
dog in life. Yeah.
I just looked at my notes and I realized when you guys when they were eating the dashboard brisket sandwich, the guy Bear was very excited about his Mountain Dew and was like singing about that, and the way he pronounced like Diet Mountain Dew, like just this fucking incredibly pronounced way of saying it. Like
He also-
had me laugh my ass off.
He also referred to Fastenal as Fastenel, which that really just made my fingernails itch. You know.
Well, I don't know if it's in your notes, but when he described the Ryan Blaney Menards diecast that he came across, you know, that paint scheme has matching Menard yellow wheels,
Yep.
but he called them green tires and said, I think they're supposed to look, I think they did that because they're supposed to look like brake dust on the tires. I was like, what in the absolute fuck?
That yellow brake dust. Ooh, yeah.
They were also very upset when they found any diecast that were opened or fucked with. They were very dismissive and negative towards people who did that, which happens all the fucking time. But I also don't know why people do that. Like, they found some like weird like Hot Wheels knockoff that somebody had like swapped the cars out, and I don't just steal the fucking things. Like, why do you go to all that trouble? Like, just put it in
So
your
much
pocket and
trouble
walk
to
out.
save $4.
Yeah, it's Walmart. They don't care. It's fine. Just walk out.
Yeah, they don't care.
But you know, they kind of start striking out after the 3rd Walmart, and then they end up at a fucking Target. And the Target, it looks just so compared to the Walmarts. It looks like a Target from like '96 that just hasn't been updated.
Yeah.
Zero diecast there, and that kind of ends it. And
Yeah, you know, there's a point in this video where I thought, wow, it's got to be almost over, and then I clicked my remote, and there was still half of it left. So for the sake of science, I watched the whole thing and went to Target with the boys. And I'll be honest, I think you did the same, True Love. We actually watched additional videos of theirs.
Yeah, you guys went again further than I ever did.
Yeah, well, so when you watch this, they have a lot of videos, and sadly they have a larger audience than we do. So I don't know what that tells you about us and also you, the listener. So yeah, go ahead and internalize that, fuckers.
Wait.
Sorry,
I just realized in my notes that these guys are brothers. I remember reading that they're brothers.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of that fucks up one of my
takes one of our theories off the table.
The Mikey Dale thing. Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Who knows?
No, it's. So, a video on YouTube ends, and there's always the, check out more from this channel shit, and you can click on it. There was one of the ones that popped up was them at a drag strip somewhere in Florida, and they were going through an actual, shed full of die casts. Like, a real collector was selling his wares. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what they do, like a gypsy tent type situation, because that's where you can find some dope shit. And sure enough, the video starts off, and there is just so much stuff that if I was standing there, my wallet would have just flown out of my back pocket, and I would have given this guy all my money to take some of this shit home. Again, I'm not a big collector, but I love collecting the weird shit and just kind of random stuff. And the stuff they were just blowing past was incredible. The only thing this guy really liked was there was a series of, I think it was Racing Champions made them. It was called, what was it called, Strictly Stock, or that's just a short track division?
Oh, the hot rods ones?
Yeah, it was like an actual hot rod car.
Yeah, those, I fucking hated those. Those were so stupid.
They're kind of, I like the concept of it, but it's an actual hot rod diecast of a Chevelle or some shit like that, with a modern cup paint scheme on it, which is kind of cool. I wouldn't buy it, but that was the only one he really liked. And then, of course, they found some other Walmart diecast they were stoked about. And then I just got frustrated and I turned it off. So that's.
I am just kind of really curious as to what they actually know about racing itself, because I'm not getting a sense that they're real aficionado race fans that watch a lot of stuff and are like us,
which is fine. I don't want to judge them for that, but it's just I also got that impression that maybe they don't.
Yeah. I noticed that when they were looking at some of the stuff in Walmart, the Todd guy a couple times was like, "Who drives that? What number? Who?" He wasn't up to speed to the same level as Brother Bear was.
Brother Bear.
Which I will say, I was so thankful that he was wearing a Larson shirt and not an Elliott shirt for just.
Well, he probably did before before the unpleasantness.
Before this video.
You guys have enough issues with the Phantom as it is.
You know what I'm playing here.
Jesus Christ! Oh God!
Yeah, pretty accurate representation of the Elliott fan base, but that's Larson Nation as well now. So
and there's no shame in getting joy out of going to Walmart and collecting your little die cast and this, that, and the other.
Your little die cast. It's so dismissive. So dismissive.
There's just
whatever you want to do,
There's just no need to put it on the internet.
No.
But you'd be shocked. There are so many people that do this, and this is they create massive followings, and I just don't understand how people are completely shameless in that way. Because I can't do it. I don't.
Right.
No. Recording a podcast is one thing, but I don't ever want to be on video doing anything at all. I never wanted to. I had to do that 2 or 3 times when I worked at the bike company in Florida, and thank God all those videos are gone from the internet because they're awful. And I'm embarrassed to ever do them. But these people just love, here's some bullshit diecast in Walmart. I spent 6 hours.
Hey, we're going to Buc-ee's on false pretense.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, he goes, "Well, thanks for watching this episode." It's that's not an episode. You can't put shitty clips of you at Walmart together and call it an episode. There's no structure.
2 guys got a fast food lunch and went to Walmart. That's the video. That's what it is. Yeah, thanks, Bram. Great
Great fun. I have to say this. I made my boyfriend Andy watch this with me, and he said that you need to change your name to Speedway Doesn't Screen His Videos.
It's more fun this way.
For who?
For you, definitely. For Brian.
For all of us.
I have laughed a lot as a result of it, so I guess there's that.
I like watching weird shit. We can't just always watch cool racing clips. Sometimes
There's
you gotta
nothing
watch.
cool about this.
Well, get ready for this week's videos then. So, as we mentioned, NASCAR is going to be in New England this weekend. And Rob, there's no modified race this weekend, is there? Or no?
Oh yeah, yeah, big time.
There is. Okay,
Yeah.
well, good. Then I picked a good first video. Then found a '95 NASCAR modifieds race from the track. It's only a half hour. It's like an edit, but. I did find a complete race with commercials from '97, but unfortunately the audio was so fucking terrible that like I'm not gonna make any of us.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's like it sucks. Then from there, a couple more videos that are a bit shorter. So before I started going to New Hampshire for cup races in the mid '90s. My uncle and my uncles and my grandfather and a bunch of their friends would always go up to Laconia for the races at the motorcycle races at the track. And
was this Loudon at that point, or was it the Speedway, or was it Breyer at that point?
Well, no, this clip is from '91, so Loudon was already built at this point.
Yeah.
So I remember my mom, probably in my early teens, like trying to talk to my grandpa about bringing me to the races, to be with the guys. And like, I think one of the reasons I couldn't go is because my grandpa said they went to the strip clubs. So I found this '91 just little news clip. It's only 3 minutes long. I thought
you were going to say a video of your grandpa at the strip club.
Oh, God. Oh, boy. God, no. Just a news report of
the personal collection.
The time your grandpa got kicked out of the strip club.
Anyways, so this is just a '91 news report of a bunch of bikers showing up in New Hampshire for this race. And I kind of just skimmed through this, and there are a bunch of cool T-shirts and just like, bikers being bikers on TV. So it's a nice little 3-minute clip. It'll be fun to watch.
Nice.
But finally, our last video, and thankfully, this is only 4 minutes, so it's not very long. But, we just watched a video where we watched some cool guys search for die casts for way too long. And earlier in the season, we watched a very, very interesting stop-motion sprint car race. Mm-hmm. So I found, and there are more than one of these videos out there, and I just picked one of the shortest ones just so it'd be easy for you guys. Faden FAD 3N Racing Series Season 1 Race 1 New Hampshire NASCAR Stop Motion Diecast Racing.
Fuck's sake.
Like I said, it's only 4 minutes. It's only 4 minutes. There was another one there was another.
Good. I'm glad he's gone.
I will say, he keeps saying it's only 4 minutes, but I watched a video from those guys reviewing an energy drink that was 5 minutes, and it was the longest 5 minutes of my life. So
yeah. Well, I'm excited for the first two, and honestly, I'm excited for this last
video.
One. Yeah, I love shitty
it's
videos
gonna be great.
too.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So I even found, like I said, there were multiple different, quote unquote, New Hampshire stop motion videos, including one that was just cars like being dropped down a roll-in, and they called it New Hampshire. Don't fucking ask me why. But again, this one, it's actually, again, it seems like it's edited very well. The track is not quite as nice as the last one we watched, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. So those are the videos of the week.
Todd and Bear pop in for a guest appearance.
Yeah, are they bringing their rigs? Are they on the entry list?
Yeah, they're pulling in with the Ryan Newman hot dog trailer.
Finally found the Holy Grail. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, maybe I'll shout out to the guys at the campsite this weekend. And
yes, please do.
Before we go tip over that porta potty. Yeah.
They're going to call me all sorts of slurs.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm definitely very excited to get to Loudon. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it.
Yeah.
It's your first Cup race of the year, right?
It might be my only one, to be honest. So I'm very excited about it. Well, I don't know. Well, obviously, Kansas is on the wish list, but we'll see how that all pans out. I want to get to the World 100 as well. So, and of course, I'm going to the World Finals. Those are my big trips coming up. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But as of right now, this is the only one that is locked in for me. I always enjoy the Cup races up there. They don't really play well on television, but in person, there's plenty to watch. And the Xfinity race this year has 39 cars in the entry list. They're sending somebody home. There's a lot of special entrants. Carson Quaffles racing, Justin Bonsignor getting his first Xfinity start. Of course, the modified race is always a big show, and then Friday night at the dirt track, and just the people. It's so fucking fun. And I'm sure there's some leftover people from Bike Week last week as well. So everyone's gonna be nice and lubed up, and it's hot as hell in New England right now, but it's gonna drop into the 70s. With a little rain here and there. So it might be a little humid, but definitely a nice change in pace to what we usually get, where it's just 165 degrees and just like, watching racing on a hot plate. Which apparently the big rumor is that Loudon might get its September date back and would be in the playoffs rather than having it in the middle of the summer. So I would love that just for my own personal well-being, but I've also gone up there in September and it's been 100 degrees too, so you never know. It's New England. Shit, weather's fucked up here. Not even global warming. It's always been fucked like that. But it's not helping, that's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to come hang with me, I'll be there all weekend. Be there Friday morning, and the first beer is going to get cracked as soon as the Easy Up goes up. So come catch me when you can.
Free ticket.
And there's a free ticket. That's right. Hit me up.
Yep. There's a chance I'll be at Lernerville for the late models this weekend. So
hell yeah.
Just check my socials. If I'm there, I'll be posting. So
that's gonna be a good show. What about you, True Love? You going to the racetrack at all?
No.
You all Dixied out?
I'm all Dixied out. I'm still coming down from that powdered sugar high.
Yeah. That'll do it. I'm looking forward to catching my own powder sugar high this weekend, so.
Yeah. Gonna have to give us a full fried food report.
Oh, I will. They got good fried pickles at Loudon, so.
And that's one thing that's disappointing about Lernerville. The food was not amazing there, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's a bummer.
But, hey, the racing's fine, so.
Well, if they're listening to this, they still have time to get their shit together before Brian rolls up with a pocket full of die-cast videos and a Buc-ee sandwich on his dash.
Yeah.
No, we don't have Buc-ee's. It would be Sheetz.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't know you guys had Sheetz in Ohio.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch around here.
Coming up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
All right. Well,
all right. I think I've had enough of this.
As always, folks, you can follow us on Instagram at Meet Me at Applebee's and Meet Me at DeBees on Twitter. I am Speedway Screens on
Nope.
.com. God, did I get...
You're back.
I'm back. Okay. SpeedwayTSJ.com. Mima, what's your plug?
It's the same.
Yeah. Powdered Sugar Mountain Snake Dog.
Snake Dog. That's pretty
Snake
good.
Dog, there we go.
Snake Dog, True Love.
That is really good.
I'm sure that has some other alternate meaning that I don't want to know.
Yeah, I'll try and learn it for some of the folks that are still there from Bike Week at Loudon. I'm sure
Skeet Mountain, True Love.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Rob Butts _ unofficial. Like I said 5 times already, I'll be at Loudon. Come hang out with me. And my band These Wild Plains will be there too, so we're going to have us a nice little time, a little family retreat. And,
are y'all playing instead of Tim Duggar?
No, but the Dirty Deeds, a tribute to AC/DC, will be rocking the same set they have for the past 20 years. So, and I think I mentioned this before on the show, the only licensed official Aerosmith cover band, Draw the Line, is playing on Friday night. So yeah, we're stacked full of entertainment, and we are going to get to go see Kenny Wallace interview Martin Truex Jr. Ben, my bandmate's a big Truex fan, and he's going to get to go say goodbye one last time, and I get to go gawk at Uncle Kenny for a few minutes.
That's good.
So
Make sure you come up with some good questions for him.
Oh, I will, yeah. I'm gonna ask him about these fucking videos we watched.
Yeah.
Did you ever look for diecast?
You ever look for diecast at Walmart, Kenny?
Monkeys.
Buc-ee's don't even have them. No, if anything, I'll just use that accent, whatever that is. The Canadian.
All of them. All the accents rolled into one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, folks. Well, it looks like the check is here. So thank
Finally.
you once again for.
He's gone. Thanks for listening, folks. I'll see you next week if I survive Loudon, all right?